I'm going to continue playing my Lord of the Rings thematic saga, playing the third quest in the Road Darkens expansion, Breaking of the Fellowship. Starting with the first player, each player chooses one of the following boon cards: Vial of Galadriel, 3 Golden Hairs, Lorien Rope, or Leaf Wrap Limbus, and attaches it to a hero he controls. The chosen boon cards have been earned by the players. Shuffle followed by Night and Ill Fate into the encounter deck. With this I will say to you, your quest stands upon the edge of a knife. Stray but a little, and it will fail, to the ruin of all. Galadriel, the Fellowship of the Ring. So we've got 3 Golden Hairs. It's got a one-time ability that you can reduce your threat by 3 and draw 3 cards for each player. Leaf Wrapped Limbus. Ready all heroes in play. Vial of Galadriel. Add Vial of Galadriel to the victory display and remove it from the campaign pool to give each enemy engages you -4 attack. And Lorien Rope. Add Lorien Rope to the victory display and remove it from the campaign pool to give each location in the staging area -2 threat until the end of the phase. What I'm going to pick is Leaf Wrap Limbus and 3 Golden Hairs. The Vial is a good one when you're playing solo to keep from being destroyed in one turn, and the Rope is good when you're playing against quests that have a lot of location and you don't want to get location locked. And there's followed by Night and Ill Fate. And the decks I have chosen to make it thematic, I've got Galadriel. She's a 9 threat spirit hero, 4004 Nordal Noble. Galadriel cannot quest, attack, or defend allies you control. Do not exhaust to commit to the quest during the round they enter play. Action: exhaust Galadriel to choose a player. That player reduces his threat by 1 and draws 1 card. Limit once per round. And we got Celeborn. He's an 11 threat leadership hero. 3224 Sylvan Noble. Response: after a Sylvan ally enters play, that ally gets +1 willpower, attack, and defense until the end of the round. And the third hero is Aragorn. He's a 12 threat lore hero. 2325 Dunedain Ranger Sentinel. Refresh action: reduce your threat to your starting threat level. Limit once per game. And the reason why I've chosen this round of heroes is we've got it's a Sylvan deck, and this one represents Lothlorien. And Aragorn was always so much in fact with Lothlorien because Galadriel is Arwen's grandmother. We've got the Tireless Ranger, and the Frodo we're going to be taking is the Mountain of Fire. Now for the other deck, I have a Three Hunters Boromir deck. With Boromir, he's an 11th threat tactics hero. 1, 3, 2, 5. Gondor Noble Warrior. Action, raise your threat by 1 to ready Boromir. Action, discard Boromir to deal 2 damage to each enemy engaged with a single player. Merry, he's a 6th threat spirit hero. 2, 1, 1, 2. Hobbit. Response, after an enemy is revealed from the top of the encounter deck, exhaust Merry to reduce your threat by that enemy's threat. And Pippin, he's a 6th threat lore hero. 2, 1, 1, 2. Hobbit. Each enemy in play gets +1 engagement cost for each Hobbit hero you control. Response, after you engage an enemy with an engagement cost higher than your threat, draw a card. The Boromir deck is set to have Boromir stick out as a hero, and he's guarding the hobbits. During when they go off with just Boromir and the 2 hobbits, that Aragorn sends Boromir to go and keep an eye on them and protect them. And the other deck has the rest of the Fellowship, with Legolas, Gimli, and Sam as allies, because Sam always wanted to see some elf magic. And Legolas, like I said, spent most of his time while they're in Lorien with the elves, and Gimli fell in love so much with the Galadriel. So I'm going to be putting the 3 golden hairs with the Sylvan deck and the leaf wrap limbus that Pippin ate so much of with the Boromir deck. Then we got Andriel. Got our Gandalf's Delay, where we skipped a draw step of our first turn. 3 hunters. Each of your heroes can have 1 additional restricted attachment. Reduce the cost of the first restricted attachment you play on each of your heroes by each round by 1. Refresh action. If each of your heroes has at least 2 restricted attachments, flip this card over, and your deck cannot include ally cards. And when you flip it over, each of your heroes can have 1 additional restricted attachment and gets +1 willpower for each restricted attachment on it. Action, exhaust this card to heal 1 damage to each of your heroes. And we got Overcome by Grief, where if a character is destroyed, you have to attach it to a hero. And that hero cannot ready till the end of the round. And then we've got the Pursued by the Enemy that we got in the Journey in the Dark. Where all enemies will attack you that are engaged with you, and a shadow card of making additional attack. One A, the Great River. Having barely escaped from Moria, the company of the Ring flees into the forest of Lorien, where they are welcomed by the elves of the Golden Wood, and supplied with boats and other gifts by the Lord and Lady, Calibor and Galadriel. Then, after a brief rest, they set out upon the river Anduin. Set Frodo's choice, Seat of Seeing, Paris Galleon aside out of play. Set the Argonath and Sarngabir to the staging area. So we're setting these aside out of play. We got the Argonath, X threat, where X is the number of players in the game. 2 quest points, River, immune to player card effects. The players cannot travel here while Sarngabir is in the play. While the Argonath is the active location, skip the combat phase. And Sarngabir, 3 threat, 4 quest points. When Sarngabir is explored, deal 1 damage to each exhausted character. So the starting threat in the staging area is 5. One B, 12 quest points. So the company went on their long way down the wide, hurrying waters, borne ever southward. Bare woods stalked along either bank, and they could not see any glimpses of land beyond the Fellowship of the Ring. Enemies get +2 defense and cannot be engaged. Skip the encounter phase. The players cannot advance while the Argonath is in play. I need to make a lot of room for elves. And over here we're going to need to make room for enemies. Draw our opening hands. Gimli, Test of Will, Vain Voices, Sam, Tree People, and a Silver Harp. I'll keep this hand. Strider, Keen as Lances, Blade of Gondolin, Fast Hitch, Horn's Cry, and a Quick Strike. We're going to take a mulligan. Only 1 restricted attachment. Will, Strider, Citadel Plate, Golden Belt, Hasty Stroke, and a Gondorian Shield. That's better. The starting scratch for the Sylvan deck is 32. And the 300s deck is 23. So we skipped a draw step, and when I have an active location, I'm just going to put it on to the left of the Overcome by Grief. I can put Sam Gamgee into play. He's reduced by 2 because I have Frodo in play. I'm going to use Frodo's ability and give Galadriel a resource. Now we're going to sauce Galadriel and draw a card, reduce our threat by 1. Over to the 300s deck. We're going to play Gondorian Shield onto Boromir. +2 defense. Put a Golden Belt that Galadriel gave him onto Boromir. Now we can have 1 additional restricted attachment. I'm going to put a Strider onto Boromir. +2 willpower. Now we're going to quest. There's 5 in the staging area. Quest for 2. Doesn't exhaust because of Galadriel's ability. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Uruk-hai Hunter. Peril. Toughness 1. When revealed, either choose a player to reveal an additional counter card, or Uruk-hai Hunter makes an immediate attack against you. I'm going to play Test the Will and cancel that effect. And toughness is a keyword that when you're dealt damage, you reduce it by 1. Card 2 is Orcs of the White Hand. When revealed, remove all damage from each enemy at this stage. Each enemy at this stage gets +1 threat, attack, and defense until the end of the round. So we added 3. So we quest successfully by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we're going to travel to Sarngabir. And we go to the next round. Dagger Westerness. We're going to put a dagger onto Mary. We're going to use Frodo and give Boromir a resource. Now we're going to play a Citadel Plate and put that onto Pippin. So now Pippin has +4 hit points. Over to the Sylvan deck. Silver Corset. We're going to exhaust Galadriel, reduce our threat by 1, and draw a card. We're going to put Nace Guide into play. He gets +1 to all her attributes. And doesn't exhaust a quest. And we're going to choose a hero to not exhaust to commit to the quest. And we're going to choose Mary. Now we're going to go into the questing phase. There is a total of 4 in the staging area. Questing for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And raise our threat by 1 to ready up Boromir. Uruk-hai Archer, Peril. Toughness 1, Archery X. X is the number of players at this stage. When revealed, discard an ally you control. We don't have any allies, sorry. And Uruk-hai Tracker. 1 threat, Surge. Toughness 1. And then a Growing Threat, Peril. When revealed, either move one enemy engages you to the first player staging area, or Growing Threat gains Doom 2 and Surge. So it's gaining Doom 2 and Surge. Black Feathered Arrows. When revealed, until the end of the round, add 1 to the archery total at this stage for each ally you control. For each ally at this stage. So we added 3. So we quest successfully by 7. That puts 4 onto Sangavir and clears it. And 3 onto the main quest. Now we have to deal 1 damage to each exhausted character. I'm going to travel to the Argonauts. And we skip the combat phase so we don't get any archery. Go to the next round. Waters in Nimrindel. Spend 2 and put Silver Harp onto Galadriel. I'm going to exhaust the ring. Now I'm going to give Calibor a resource. Now I'm going to play a Tree People. Return a Sylvan ally you control to your hand. Search the top 5 cards of your deck for a Sylvan ally. Put that ally into play and shuffle the other cards back into the deck. You may only play 1 copy of the Tree People each phase. We're going to return the Nace Guide to our hand. We got the Galadriel Minstrel. After Galadriel Minstrel enters play, search the top 5 cards of your deck for an event and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. Well, it's all allies, so that's a whiff. I'm going to put the Nace Guide back in play. And we're going to choose Aragorn. Do not exhaust. So both of these elves have the +1. Going over to the 300 stack, Keenest Lances. We're going to spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And play Keenest Lances. Add it to the victory display and draw 3 cards. Fast Hitch, Hasty Stroke, and a Test of Will. Now we're going to quest. There's 2, 3, 4, 5 in the staging area. And we need to quest successfully by 3. So we're questing for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, raise our threat by 1. 14, 15, 15 to 5. Sloth of Ammon Hen, 3 threat. Ill Fate, when revealed, attached to a hero you control. Counts as a condition attached with the text forced after a character you control is destroyed. Raise your threat by 2. Well, for thematic reasons, I'm going to attach it to Boromir. That has Surge, a River Anduin, 2 threat. So that added 5. So we quest successfully by 5. That clears the Argonath and puts 3 onto the main quest, and we have to go to the next stage. (2A) The company divided. The river has carried the company as far as it can, and the time has come for Frodo to choose which way to go. He asks for an hour to decide, but after he disappears, orcs are discovered prowling the woods, and the company scatters to find him. When revealed, remove the ring bearer and each card attached to it from the game. Treat the ring text box as blank while resolving this effect. Reduce each enemy's engagement cost to 0 until the end of the encounter phase. Skip the travel phase this round. (2B) 0 quest points. Forced, at the end of the refresh phase, shuffle Seat of Seeing and Frodo's Choice into the encounter discard pile, then place the encounter discard pile on the bottom of the encounter deck. Starting with the first player, each player creates his own staging area and advances to a different stage 3A of his choice. In player order, each player moves one encounter card from the staging area to his. When there are no encounter cards left at this stage, discard it. So we skip the travel phase. Now all these enemies are engaging. Warmer is going to raise the threat by 1 to ready him. Now we're going to optionally engage an enemy here. And these are just going to come down naturally. So we've got archery 1, 2, 3. Frodo's gone. I'm going to put 1 on Pippin, 2 on Pippin, and 1 on Calibor. Deal out shadow cards. Attacking for 3. We're going to block with Aragorn. After this attack, moves the enemy to the first player's staging area. Now we're going to block with Boromir. Attacking enemy gets +1. +2 if defending character has fewer hit points. No. So we take 1 damage. Raise our threat by 1. To ready up Boromir, we're going to block the Uruk-hai Hunter. If the defending character has fewer hit points, it doesn't. So no damage. Now for attacking back, Merry can attack for 2. So he's useless. He's not doing any good, because that deals no damage. So now we go to the end of the refresh phase, where we have a choice. To represent the chaos, I'm just going to go with a random pick of which one to go to. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's orc hunting. If Frodo's choice is in play at any time, players place progress on this quest, discard an equal number of cards from the encounter deck instead. And now for this deck, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. Okay, now after stage 2B is discarded, if the total threat in the counter stage, counter cards in this stage area is less than 4, reveal 1 counter card. And in player order, we have to choose cards in the staging area. So we're going to take the Slopes of Amon-Hen, River Anduin, and the Uruk-hai Tracker. So now this is going to be the divider between the two. Orc hunting. So it was that Legolas and Gimli found him. They came from the western slopes to the hill, silently creeping through the trees, as if they were hunting. Gimli had his axe in his hand, and Legolas his long knife. All his arrows were spent. The two towers. And we have 4 threat, so we don't need to reveal any cards. And going over to the 300's deck, the Seat of Amon-Hen. I'm going to the top to see the Seat of Amon-Hen, to see what may be seen, and look. It is as my heart guessed. Frodo went this way. Follow me, and keep your eyes open. Aragorn, the Fellowship of the Ring. After 2B is discarded, if the total threat of encounter cards in this stage is less than 4, reveal 1 encounter card. So we have to reveal 1 because it's only 2. Uruk-hai Tracker, and that's Surge. Black Feathered Arrows, we're already past the combat phase, so that's a whiff. And now 3B, the Seat of Amon-Hen. 0 quest points. If Frodo's choice is not in play, anytime players would place progress on this quest, discard an equal number of cards from the encounter deck instead. Forced. After Frodo's choice is revealed, at this stage, advance to stage 4A. Response. After you quest successfully, choose a player. That player draws 2 cards and lowers their threat by 2. And Orc hunting. If Frodo's choice is not in play, anytime players would place progress on this quest, discard an equal number of cards from the encounter deck instead. Forced. After Frodo's choice is revealed at this stage, advance to stage 4A. Response. After you quest successfully, discard an enemy engaged with a player. Now we go to the next round. War Axe. We're going to put a War Axe. Oh, I forgot to have somebody reduce their threat and draw a card. That was going to be this deck. The last turn. Heed the Dream. We're going to play Heed the Dream. We get to search the top 5 cards of our deck for a card and put it in our hand. Heed the Dream, Test of Will, Unexpected Courage, Horn's Cry, and a Gondorian Shield. We're going to get an Unexpected Courage. Now we're going to play 2 and put an Unexpected Courage on the Boromir. Go over to the Sylvan deck. We're going to exhaust Galadriel to draw a card and reduce our threat by 1. Now the first player token is over here. So we have 3 threat in the staging area. And we're going to quest for 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and raise the threat by 1 to ready up Boromir. But what we also have to do is shuffle Frodo's Choice and Seed of Seeing. Into the encounter discard pile and put this at the bottom of the encounter deck. Reveal, followed by Night. Surge, because there's put the topmost enemy in the discard pile into play. Engage with you. Well, there's no enemies in the discard pile. Wooded Shoreline. Well, Wooded Shoreline is at this stage. Well, it's in the staging area. It gains Archery 2. So that added 3. So we quested successfully by 1, so we discard 1 card. So now we can have a player reduce their threat by 2 and draw 2 cards. We're going to reduce our own threat by 2 and draw 2 cards because we want to get our contract flipped. Secret Vigil and a Golden Belt. Here, we're going to quest for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 against 4. And it's a Uruk-hai Archer. When revealed, discard an ally. We're going to discard Galadriel Minstrel. So that added 1. So we quest successfully by 3. River Anduin, Slopes of Ammonhen, and a wooded shoreline. And now, quest successfully, so we can discard an enemy engaged with the player. We're going to discard the Uruk-hai Archer. So now traveling, I'm going to travel to the River Anduin, and we're going to travel to the Slopes of Ammonhen, and we have to engage an enemy. We're going to engage the Uruk-hai Tracker. And here we're going to engage the Uruk-hai Tracker. Deal out shadow cards, and we've got archery 1 over here. Give it to Boromir. Over here we got archery 1. Give it to Sam. We actually have archery 3 over here. 1, 2. Okay, we're going to block with Boromir. Attacking enemy makes an additional attack. Raise our threat by 1 to ready him up. Block again. No shadow, no damage. Ready him up with unexpected courage. Block. No shadow, no damage. Going over to the Sylvan deck. We're going to play a Feigned Voices and return Sylvan to our hand to cancel an enemy attack. We're not going to do any attacking back. Go to the next round. Greenwood Archer. We're going to exhaust Galadriel and have reduce their threat by 1, draw a card. We're going to play Greenwood Archer. Ready up a hero, we're going to ready up Galadriel. We're going to spend 2, and we're going to play Silver Circlet. And we're going to attach that to Mary. Go over to the 300s deck. Andorian Shield. So we need 2 more restricted attachments. Actually, 1 more. We're going to put the Gondorian Shield on the Pippin. Spend 1. Put a fast hitch onto Mary. Put a golden belt onto Mary. We're going to play a secret vigil and put that onto the Urukai hunter. Now we're going to quest. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And a quest for 6 against 1. Urukai Archer has to discard an ally. Oh, we're going to get rid of Sam. Sorry, Sam, you got to go search for Frodo. So we lose 2. So we quest successfully by 3. That clears out the Slopes of Ammon Hen. And we can discard an enemy. We'll discard the Urukai Tracker. Here we're going to quest for 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9. And raise our threat by 1 to ready up. And there is 3 in the staging area. Urukai Archer. Discard an ally. We don't have any allies. So that added 1. So we quest successfully 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That clears out the River Anduin. And we quested successfully. So we can choose a player to reduce their threat by 2 and draw 2 cards. We're going to reduce our threat by 2 and draw 2 cards. Horn's Cry and a Test of Will. Now the Traveling. We would have, if we don't travel, we'll have Archery 3. And we're going to travel. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for an enemy. And put it into play. We're going to get the Urukai Hunter. We add it to the staging area. Now for engagements. We're going to leave those 2 up there. And we're going to optionally engage this guy. Now the combat phase. We're going to block with Aragorn. Discard non-objective attachment. We'll get rid of the 3 golden hairs. And now here we're going to block with Boromir. Makes an additional attack. No thank you. Play a hasty stroke. And then we're going to ready up and block with Boromir. No shadow, no damage. Now for attacking back. We can attack back for 3. And 1 defense and toughness 1, so we deal 1 damage. We also had archery 3. Over here, we can raise our threat by 1 to ready up. We're going to attack for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and destroy this Uruk-hai hunter. And we each reduce our threat by 2. Go to the next round. Heed the dream. So we can flip our contract over now. Play Heed the Dream. Search the top. We're going to have this deck search the top 5 cards of their deck. First, they draw a card for their turn. They're going to get an Athelos. It was tempting to get the Sylvan Tracker to heal up all that damage, but we don't want to get stuck with that restricted attachment. We're going to exhaust the contract and heal up 1 damage from each character. We have our heroes. Go over to the Sylvan deck. Exhaust Galadriel to draw a card. Legolas. We're going to put an Athelos onto Aragorn. Play a Nace Guide. And we're going to say Aragorn doesn't exhaust a quest. We're going to put a Limbus onto Aragorn. Now we're going to quest. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we have 2 in the staging area. We're actually going to hold back Pippin and quest for 6. Against 2. Fallen into evil. We're going to play a test of will. Cancel that. That's the condition attachment that I didn't want to have. You turn one of your heroes into an enemy. So we quest successfully by 4. That clears out the wooded shoreline. I'm trying to have this deck reduce their threat by 2. And draw 2 cards. Clavering Stone and Nenya. Over here we got 2 in the staging area. And we're going to quest for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll hold back. Hold back that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to quest for 4. Without exhausting. And it's growing threat. Either move 1 enemy engaged with you to the first player's staging area, or it gains Doom 2 and Surge. We'll move this to the staging area here. Now we quest successfully by 2. Black Feathered Arrows and a growing threat. And then we can discard an enemy. We'll get rid of the Urukai Archer. Now for engagement. We're not going to engage any enemies. Over here, we're engaging the Urukai Hunter. And we have Archery 1. Put that on the Mary. And we got Archery 2 here. We'll put it on the Aragorn. And we're going to block with Boromir. It's +1. So attacking for 5. We have 4 defense, so we take 1 damage. Now we're going to go to the next round. Woodland Courier. We're going to spend 1 to put a Nenya onto Galadriel. over to the 300 stack. Dagger. Gonna heal up one from each of our heroes. I'll put a dagger onto Mary. Now we're going to go questing. I quest for Aragorn for 2 and the Nace Guide for 1. Orcs of the White Hand. When revealed, remove all damage from each enemy at this stage. Each enemy at this stage gets +1. Willpower, or threat, attack, and defense. So that brings it up to 4. And we quested for 3. So we quested unsuccessfully by 1. Go over here. We're going to quest. There's 1 in the staging area. We're going to quest for 4. Actually, we're not going to quest for anything. We're going to have our threat go up. Frodo's Choice. We end the quest phase. And we take control of the first player token. And we get Frodo. Take control of the first player token and the ring bearer and each card attached to it. Attach to the ring bearer. For the rest of the game, you cannot lose control of the first player token. And after Frodo's Choice is revealed at this stage, advance to stage 4A. The ring bearer sets out. Now, Sam, said Frodo, don't hinder me. The others will be coming back in any minute. If they catch me here, I shall have to argue and explain I shall never have the heart or the chance to get off, but I must go at once. It's the only way. Fellowship of the Ring. When revealed, add Paris Galasan to the staging area. If it is the quest phase, end the quest. Do not resolve the quest. So, Paris Galasan is immune to player card effects. Travel. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for an enemy and add to the staging area. Travel here. Shuffle the encounter deck. While Paris Galasan is in play, the players cannot win this game. (4B) 16 quest points. During the quest phase, reveal 1 additional encounter card for each player in the game. After an enemy is revealed at this stage, raise your threat by X to engage that enemy. X is that enemy's threat. Each player at any stage may trigger this ability, limit once per round. When this stage is defeated, the players win the game. So we're not going to engage any enemies here. And we're not going to engage any enemies over here. We are going to ready up with Limbus and heal up all this damage. Deal out a shadow card. And we're going to block with Boromir. Attacking enemy gets +1. So no damage. And we're also have archery 2 over here. And archery 1 over here. We'll give it to Boromir. We're going to attack with Boromir and Merry and destroy this Uruk-hai hunter. Go to the next round. Blade of Gondolin. Put a Blade of Gondolin onto Pippin. Go over to the Sylvan deck. Tree People. We're going to reduce our threat by 1. Draw a card. Unexpected Courage. We're going to play a Tree People. Bring back a Greenwood Archer. And look at the top 5 cards of our deck for an ally. For a Sylvan ally, and put it into play. Oh, we got Haldir showed up. We're going to spend 1, 2, I'm going to put a Unexpected Courage onto Aragorn. We're going to spend 2 and put a Clavering Stone onto Aragorn. It gives him +2 willpower. And the spirit icon. So we'll spend 1, 2, and put a Woodland Courier into play. Now we're going to go to the questing phase. Most of these Sylvans have the bonus. And we have to reveal 1 additional card per player. So that's going to be 3. So we're going to quest for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Against 3. First card is Orcs of the White Hand. Remove all damage from each enemy at this stage. Each enemy at this stage gets +1 threat, attack, and defense until the end of the round. Card 2, the Seed of Seeing. There we go. That's just what I wanted. And then the third card is a Uruk-hai Captain. Now we've got to shuffle the encounter discard pile into shuffle the deck. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we quest successfully by 11. And we needed 16. And now over here, quest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Against 2. River Anduin. So we quest successfully. There's no enemies to get rid of. Now we're going to travel to the Seed of Seeing. So we have to search. Oh, we don't have to search anything. And we're also going to travel to the River Anduin. Now, engagements. We're going to engage the Uruk-hai Captain. I've been forgetting to draw cards all this time. It's Pippin. My mistake. It just points out another why it's pretty much he's useless. Can't even draw cards. And I'm going to engage the Uruk-hai Archer. Now we have Archery 2 here. And put it onto one on the Mary and one on the Boromir. Now I'm going to play a Waters of the Nimrindel. Doom 3. Heal all damage on each character in play. So that was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 damage got healed up for it. Raise a 3 threat. Now deal out shadow cards. Well, since this was the last time we're going to be able to use it, we're going to use Mr. Underhill. And prevent this guy from attacking. Over here, we're going to block with Aragorn. Makes an additional attack. Aragorn takes 1 damage. We're going to play a Feign Voices. Return this courier to my hand. And prevent him from attacking. Now for attacking back, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to destroy him. And we can attack back for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Destroy him. Go to the next round. Hasty Stroke. Over to the Sylvan deck. Okay. I'll put a Woodland Courier back into play. Put 2 progress onto this River Anduin. Now we're going to quest. We're going to quest for 19 again. Go. And there is 2, 3 in the staging area. Got to reveal 3 cards. Uruk-hai Hunter. Either choose the player to reveal an encounter card, or I'm going to play a Test of Will. Cancel that effect. And then we're going to raise our threat by 2 over here and engage him. And card 2, Fallen into Evil. We're going to play a Test of Will and cancel that. And card 3 is a Wooded Shoreline. So that is 3. 1, 2, 3. So we quest successfully by 13. 6 here, clearing the Seat of Seeing. And 7 here brings us 18. And now, response. When Seat of Seeing is explored, choose a burden card in play, in the encounter deck or in the discard pile, and remove it from the game. Shuffle the encounter deck. If you're playing campaign mode, remove it from the campaign pool. We're going to remove the Pursued by the Enemy. And over here, we're going to quest for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 against 1. Uruk-hai Hunter. He's going to make an immediate attack against me or reveal another card. I'm going to have him make an immediate attack against me and block with Aragorn. Attacking and he gets +1, so he's attacking for 5, and we got 2 defense, so we take 2 damage. So we added 2. So we quest successfully by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It explores the River Anduin, and we quest successfully, so we're going to discard this Uruk-hai Hunter. Travel phase, we're going to travel to the Paris Galson. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for an enemy and add to the staging area to travel here. I'm going to raise our threat by 1, ready at Boromir. Now for engagement, we're going to, these 2 are coming down. And here, this one's coming down. Now we're going to deal out shadow cards. We got Archery 2 and Archery 4 and Archery. So we're going to put 4 damage onto Boromir. Now for attack, we're going to block with Boromir. It's +1, so he's attacking for 5. We're going to play a take out. Before any attacks, I'm going to play a Horn's Cry, calling for help. No help came. All enemies get -1 attack. Attacking for 2, blocking with Boromir, +1. Ready up, Boromir. Unexpected Courage, and no Shadow. Go over to here, we're going to block with Aragorn. Attacking for 4, take 1 damage. Go to the next round. Oh, we're not going to play anything. Just a will. Reduce our threat by 1. Draw a card. Limbus. Put the Limbus onto Aragorn. And heal up. There's Athelos. Then we're going to play a Galadriel's Greeting. And reduce our threat by 6. Put a Greenwood Archer into play. Ready up, Galadriel. Now we're going to quest. Questing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 against 3. First card, Black Feathered Arrows, +1 for each archery ally. It's +1 archery, followed by Knight. Put the topmost enemy for the discard pile into play. That's the Uruk-hai Archer. Oh, we get a draw a card. That's Surges. Ooh, thematic. Orcs of the White Hand. They're coming after him. All enemies get +1. Card 2 is the River Anduin. Card 3 is the Slopes of Amon Hen. So we start to go across locations. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we quested successfully by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What we're going to do as a last gasp, we're going to discard Boromir with his action. Deal 2 damage to each enemy engaged with me. So they all got toughness 1, so it does 1 damage to each enemy. It's our last gasp. Boromir's gone. The hobbits are being taken away by the Uruk-hai. Our threat goes down to 13, 12. So we quest successfully by 4. That clears Paris Galasan. And the stage is defeated. The players win the game. So there, the players have won the game. Hope you enjoyed it. And the two prisoners I'm going to be taking captive are, to be thematic, are Merry and Pippin. And I would say the MVPs in this were the Waters of Nivrendell, where we healed 14 damage, and the Horn of the Gondorian Shield, where we kept on being able to defend with enough defense those orcs. Resolution. If fallen into evil is attached to a hero, add that hero to the list of fallen heroes in the campaign log. The first player chooses either Followed by Night or Ill Fate to be added to the campaign pool. The chosen burden card has been earned by the players. Each player chooses one hero he controls other than the Ring Bearer or Aragorn to be taken captive. Record the name of each captive in the note section on the campaign log. I would have guided Frodo to Mordor and gone with him to the end, but if I seek him now in the wilderness, I must abandon the captives to torment and death. My heart speaks clearly at last. The fate of the bear is in my hands no longer. The company has played its part, yet we that remain cannot forsake our companions while we have strength left. Come, we will go now. Leave all that you can be spared behind. We will press on by day and dark. Aragorn, the Two Towers. So Ill Fate and Followed by Night. We're going to take Ill Fate because we have more control of keeping our characters alive. And this should have come down and attached to Pippin because we had a character be destroyed. Oh, actually, it wasn't destroyed. He was just discarded. So I'll see you in the Uruk High.